So today I am going to start graph type y equal plus or minus x plus a into x plus b type, right? So yesterday we discussed another type. So this is the last type I am going to discuss today, right? So write the type first, y equal plus or minus x plus a into x plus b. In this question, so function is y equal x plus 1 into x plus 6, right? So here x plus 1 we call a factor, x plus 6 is called another factor, right? So here is the product of two factors, right? So that is a quadratic function, right? Quadratic function y equal x plus 1 into x plus 6, right? So please write the question and try to fill this table to find the y values to draw the graph, right? I'm going to explain how to find the y value when x is equal negative 7, right? So here you can see x plus 1, here is multiplication, x plus 6. So put the x value and put the x value, those two you have to multiply, right? So that is how to find. Now see, so if you put the x value negative 7, here put negative 7 plus 1 and next bracket, if you put the x value here negative 7 plus 6, right? Now take the value inside the bracket, right? So you know this number negative, this number positive, right? So different sign means you have to subtract, right? 7 minus 1, that is 6. So greater sign, that is greater number is 7, that is negative. Therefore negative 7 plus 1 is called negative 6. So inside here is the multiplication, right? Then you can find the value of this one. See, negative 7 plus 6. This is negative, this is positive. Again subtract, right? 7 minus 6, that is you get 1. Sign of the greater sign, that is 7 greater, that is negative. Therefore negative 1, right? So now to find the y, you have to multiply these two, right? So here is the multiplication. 6 into 1, that is 6. Negative multiplied by negative, that is you get positive, right? So when x is negative 7, y is positive 6, right? So like this, put the x value, take the value inside the bracket, then multiply those two, right? Hurry up with the table and try to draw the graph of the function. So now you can see here in the x-axis you need up to negative 7, right? That is a negative direction, and positive direction, that is no values, that is up when the 0 that is ended. And the y-axis you can see here, that is positive, greater one is 6. In the negative direction you need negative 6. That means you can see here there is no turning point, right? So here negative 6, negative 6, that means we need more than negative 6, that means up to negative 7 you need, right? So if you can't take negative 7, after the negative 6 you need small 5 divisions to turn the graph, right? So I think you can understand, right? So in the y-axis positive 6 is there, right? So that means in the positive direction you need up to positive 6, right? So take the highest value, that is positive 6. In the negative direction, you need up to negative 6, right? So that means in the graph paper, you need up to negative 6, right? So here you can see here, there is no turning point. So to turn this graph, right? So if you write this value is negative 6 here, that means to turn this graph, you need another space in the graph paper. So if you can't take negative 7 here, that means we need small 5 divisions, right? Small 5 divisions. That means negative 6.1, negative 6.2, negative 6.3, like that. Small 5 division is enough, right? So when you draw the two axes, try this one. I'll explain that one again, right? So you can see now, this is the actual graph, right? So after this negative 6 point, you can go down, small 2 divisions or small 3 divisions, right? And here only this difference is only 1 unit, right? Small 10 divisions at the middle of the these two divisions, these two values, you can follow this line, right? So that is how next when y is equal 0, right? So when the y equals 0 line and curve intersect at this point, that is scale x equal negative 6, and this point, that is x equal negative 1, right? Those are the, right? So to find the minimum value of the function, right? Move the graph, right? So this is your graph. Now you can see here, this is the turning point. Okay, so when you draw the graph from this negative 7 point like this, right, you comes this way, in this point you turn, right, then goes up, right? So that means turning point is this one, right? So now you have to read the coordinate. That means x coordinate and y coordinate, right? So to find the x coordinate, you should go to the x axis, right? So like this, you should go to the x axis, right? So early we read this value, right? So this value is called negative 3.5, right? So that is the x coordinate. So when you write the coordinate bracket negative 3.5, right? So that is the x coordinate, right? Then comma, so you should find the y coordinate. So to find the y coordinate on this turning point, you should go to the y axis, right? To the y axis. You can see now along this path, if you go to the y axis, now you can see here this y value is what? That is negative 6.6 point. Here I told you, turn using small 2 division or small 3 division, right? So that means you can write the answer as negative 6.2 or negative 6.3. Okay, so you can't go further. So that means y coordinate is negative 6.2, that is correct, or you can write negative 6.3, right? So you can't write negative 6.4 or negative 6.5, right, or negative 6.1. So those are wrong values, right? So there is another method to find this turning point, right? So that has a equation, right? So not in this instant I'm not going to find that one, right? So just using the graph, right? Okay, right. So then next question. So write this answer, right? So my next question is, uh, This one, see. So Roman number 3, they ask minimum value of the function, right? So we answered minimum value, right? So minimum value is we got, right? Minimum value is minimum value. So this is the minimum value, right? So that is negative 6.2, right? Or negative 6.3, right? Then I answered also the question number, Roman number 4 also, right? Roman number 4. So that is coordinate of the minimum point, right? So that also I explained to you, right? Now Roman number 5. Roman number 5. Roman number 5 say the range of values of x. See, range of values of x when the function is positive. Function is positive, right? So we need when the function is positive, values of x, that is that you can write as a range, right? So go to the graph, right? So yesterday I also explained to you where the function is positive. Function is positive means above this x-axis function is positive, right? And below this x-axis function is negative, right? So that means function positive means, see the graph sheet. So this graph part, this part function is positive. That means above the x-axis, and also this part graph is positive. Function is positive. Now we need x range. Now you can see here when the graph moves this way, graph moves this way, x is changed from this point to this way, right? So these are the values we need. And also from this point, graph is moving this way, you can take the x value. These are the another x value, right? So you can write the range. How? Write this value, that is negative 6, negative 6. Then this value, that is negative 1, right? So in the middle you can write x. Now we are going to write the range. Now see, we want this value, these values are less than negative 6, so we need x. So x should be less, and also we need this value. These values are greater than negative 1. That means if you consider from negative 1, those values are greater. So this is the range of x when the function is positive. Right. Now we'll move to next question. Right. So Roman number 6. Now you can see range of values of x, for which the function is negative. Right. Now function is negative. Right. Now move to the graph here. Right. Now I'll explain to you where the graph is negative. That means below this x-axis. That means what is the graph part? Graph part is if this point, see, this is the graph part, function is negative up to here, right? So this is the graph part we need. Now we want the x range. Now you can see a graph is moving along this path. X is changed from this negative 6 to along this path up to negative 1, right? So this is the part x range, right? So now you can write the x range. How? Write the -6 as early. Then write the -1 here, -1. Then write the x in the middle. Now put the inequality, right? So we want this value. If you take from -6, these values are greater than -6. X is greater. X is greater. And if you consider from the -1, we want this value. These values are less than -1 because -2, -3, -4, those are less than -1. So we want x, that is x should be less than -1. So this is the range of values of x. Range of values of x. Right. Now we'll move to the question number Roman number 7. Right. So that one asks what is the behavior of y. See, behavior of y when x is increases. See, x should be increases, right? So within the given range. So what is the given range? See, given range is this one. See, you can see given range is x is -7 to 0, right? -7 to 0. X should be increases. That means it should goes this way. Increases rather. So behavior of the function. Now go to the graph. See, now you can see here in this graph, here is the -7, here is the 0, right? So x increases mean x goes like this, right? So left to right, that is x increases. What happened to the graph? What happened to the graph? Graph is come like this way comes, right? And it goes like this, say, right? So that means behavior of the graph is called parabola of minima, right? So behavior of the graph, that is called this type parabola of minima, because -7 to 0 behavior of the graph is, you have to write answer parabola of minima. Parabola of minima.